My name is Jennifer. For this assignment, I'm interviewing Nancy, who is from a different generation. The purpose of this interview is to better understand how generational experiences differ, especially in terms of growing up, relationships, technology, and everyday life. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. First, let's start off with what year were you born and where did you grow up?
Okay. I was born in 1952, and I've grown up and raised and lived in the city of Racine, all except for my college years.
And where were you for your college years?
The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater.
Okay. How did you usually spend your time as a child? Like, did you spend it indoors, spend a lot of time outdoors?
Outdoors. Spent a lot of time outdoors. There were 7 children, and we needed to go out and play a lot.
All right. And what kind of games and activities did you and your siblings and friends do for fun?
Well, we would play in the dirt and stuff outside. I have 2 brothers. There's 7 of us, but I have 2 brothers that are like a year and 2 years older than I am, and so they would like to play Indians and cowboys. You know, the little rubber guys, or we would play hide and seek at nighttime, and we'd play softball in the backyard, and I don't know, ride bikes.
All right. And how do you think childhood today differs from that experience that you had growing up?
I think you get more involvement from your parents in the family. I mean, my family was involved, but like I said, with 7 kids, it was kind of like, you guys need to go out and play. So yeah, but we had to stay in the neighborhood. We didn't go all over town. We just had to stay in the neighborhood, so.
All right. What was school like for you as a child, and did you enjoy it?
I liked school. Yes, I did. I liked school. There was no preschool. Kindergarten was the earliest grade, and that was what's Garfield School, which is Julian Thomas now. But Garfield, and I liked that. It was the old days when you didn't do as much curricular stuff, and you did more stories, and you had nap time and all that kind of stuff. I drove blanket and things, and it was only half a day. So that's different. And then for the rest of my 12 years of school, I went to parochial schools.
And how involved were your teachers and your parents in your education compared to kind of what you see now in schools?
With me personally, my mom was active, in the school. She was the PTA president. She was involved in the church, so she was very active. She didn't have to come and talk to my teachers ever. I didn't manage to get in much trouble. I liked it. I did pretty good job at it, where she'd have to go visit school for my brothers. She didn't have to for me. So they didn't tell me much.
What differences do you notice between how students were treated then versus how students are treated now in the schools?
Well, part of it is the backup of the parents. I think I know that if anything would have happened and gone wrong, my parents always had the teachers back, and you'd get it worse at home than you did at school. So whatever they thought they were going to punish you with was nothing like what you were going to get when you got home. So, and I didn't like that, so I behaved.
How do you think, comparing the two, dating and relationships today compared to when you were growing up, how much social media and technology affect those?
I think you didn't spend as much time watching things, whether it was videos on your computer or your phone, or whether it was even television. They didn't have that many good TV shows, how's that? Or many channels to get. So yeah, so we didn't see a lot of that stuff. So basically it was person-to-person relationships, and you didn't know that, like, I had no clue about Marilyn Monroe. I mean, I didn't know what she was, I didn't want to look like her, that was kind of that kind of stuff. You didn't,
What concerns you, or do you think about with today's younger generation in the workforce?
I'm not as concerned as I am that if they want something, they would, that's up to the parents to teach them that they have to earn it, that it's not going to be handed to them. I mean, we're lucky enough to have a lot of stuff, and, my parents were nice to me. I'm the youngest. So, I remember going shopping downtown at one of the stores, and my mom let me have the charge. I could charge it. And she probably got yelled at by my dad because she didn't tell me what my limit was. So read that question again.
Just any concern? So more so just kind of what I got was like the work ethic. Just knowing that they have to have the work ethic.
They have to want to do it, and it can't just be handed. If they don't want to earn it, then they're going to have to go earn it.
What do you think your generation did well that my generation or younger generations could learn from?
It's a tough one. I don't know. Our family was pretty close. We didn't have a lot. You didn't go a lot of places. We didn't go out to dinner and eat a lot. So supper was always together. That was kind of nice. Our family was somewhat religious, but not like holier than thou. But you prayed before dinner, and everybody sat at the dinner table, for your evening meal. So yeah, that was always kind of a nice thing.
Is there anything else you'd like to add that you notice different between the generations, or?
Well, your trips and the experiences they get to have right now. I mean, it's so much easier. We had one car if it worked. Think about going camping. That was our very first one. We got to go camping, and you had to cram 9 people in a station wagon and camping things. So it was pretty darn crowded, you didn't have extra seats, so you sat in the back, and 3 of us had to squish in the back trunk area. So yeah, a lot of those kind of experiences that I think children get to have now. Just like even the sporting activities that the kids that may play basketball year round, or soccer or whatever, and club soccer and club basketball and club gymnastics and everything like that. No, we just played because it was fun and played in the backyard. So that's very different. They're lucky for that, and trips, going places. Like I said, we got to go to Peninsula State Park. That was ours. That was our vacation. And then for years after that we continued. But I was like 5 maybe when we started camping. So yeah, so that was pretty much.
Well, I just want to thank you for sharing your experiences and perspectives with me to help me understand, across the generations.
Well, you're welcome. And the other thing is the transportation. Whether it's taking a train to Chicago or, airplane flights that people have been on. I was an adult the first time I went on an airplane. And my children and my grandchildren have been going on airplanes forever. It's more reasonable. There's more flights, renting cars when you get there. I mean, there's all sorts of opportunities. I think that's very important. That's a real nice plus for this day and age. And I'm not feeling bad because I wasn't, I don't feel like that I missed out on stuff. So, yeah.
Thank you.